What is up, guys? Welcome back to Bass Fishing Declassified. And in today's video, we're about to share with you guys some unusual fishing techniques that work during the wintertime. These techniques you might not hear about, techniques you might not try, and sometimes they're techniques that people have not even tried on your lake. So guys, we're going to share with them to help you go out and catch bass this winter.
Hey guys, Kyle on Bass Fishing Declassified. Today's tip is going to be a winter technique that I use that I want to share with you that I think is going to help you catch some more fish in the winter. So this technique I'm going to tell you about, I actually kind of came up with it or learned it crappie fishing. So I crappie fish a lot in the winter months, and I would always randomly come across a big old bass on a crappie jig. And I was like, man, these fish are in these brush piles. This is way before forward-facing sonar. This is just literally just fishing instinct, bouncing your jig around in brush piles. So I knew where some brush piles were that had some big bass in it, and I wanted to come up with some ways to fish it weedless with some bass baits and bass rods and reels. So what I came up with that I know that it works is right here. This TK178, this is a U-Claw Trocar swim blade. Just a belly weighted hook, okay? So take that right there. This is a 5/0 hook. Put this down. And I've come up with two of my favorite colors in these Yum Scottsboro. So this is the 4-inch one. You can make a 3.5-inch work, but 4-inch fits this 5/0 hook really, really well. We got sight flash and we got silver flash shad. Say that 5 times fast. Anyways, the reason these two colors I think work best for me or give me the most confidence is that extra glitter you see in those things. So for me in the winter, a lot of times the bait fish are really slow and sluggish, and a crappie or bass will come up and eat them, and when they do, they knock the scales off of those little shad. I think it triggers that natural response. It triggers their instinct that there's fish being fed on, and so when they see that kind of flashy stuff, I think they think that other fish are eating shad and knocking the scales off of them. So that's why these are the two colors that I'm recommending, and they work good for me. So it's pretty simple the way you rig these up. Again, this is the 4-inch one, and it's got a nice twist lock on there. I love these. It prolongs the life of your bait. You just screw it into the nose of the bait as straight as you possibly can. You don't want to try to keep the screw from coming out of the bait so you don't see it sticking back out. So you screw it straight in, and you'll screw it right up snug. See, I've got a little bit of gap there. That's going to let that thing play and not rub on it. And then you're just going to kind of line up where the hook needs to go. Run the hook right through the belly. Stick it right out in the middle of the back. Like so. And that is not that straight because I try to do it for you guys. But you want to get it more in the center of the bait. But anyway, that's what it's going to look like when you're done. And so the technique for the way this works. So the blade helps as well. The blade helps do the same technique or the same concept that I was telling you about the glitter shimmering off the shad. Same deal. You throw this out to your brush pile. I'm going to throw it on a 7.3 medium heavy Kistler. This is a helium. And I'm going to throw it on 15 to 17 pound fluorocarbon. You cast it out there either beyond the brush pile or just close to the top of the brush pile. But you want to let this free fall all the way down into the brush pile. And I don't care if you let it sink all the way to the bottom. This is going to be really, really weedless. You're basically going to treat this like a plastic worm. So I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to work the bait up. Reel until I feel it tick a limb, and then I'm going to pop it over it, and then I'm going to free fall back down. And I'm going to literally do that all the way through and over every limb in that brush pile, and I'm going to catch a big bass on that when I do that. I promise that is a very successful technique for me. So go try that. Go get your Yum Scottsboro. Go get you an U-Claw swim blade, and you can get the Scottsboro swim bait. You can go get it at lurenet.com. Use my coupon code Cordiana15. They've got a bunch of different colors. If you find one that works better than these two, do me a favor. Let me know. If I'm going to share my technique with you, share me if you find a new color that works better. I hope this helps you guys catch more fish in the winter months. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Guys, the technique I'm about to share with you is a technique I've never done in the wintertime before, and I've caught fish with it on some of my recent fishing trips. And I'm going to share with you, of course, the lure. I'm going to go over the technique. It's something, guys, if you watch Declassified in my channel, you know I've done it a lot this last year. It's probably became one of my #1 techniques, so it's new to me in the winter. And I'm going to share with you 2 ways I've caught fish with it, okay? But, guys, it is throwing a bigger Flutter spoon. This right here is the Falcon spoon by Dixie Jet. They have the Falcon, the Talon. The Talon's the wider one. The Falcon is the skinnier one, as you see right here. Now, guys, you always hear about Flutter spoon fishing in the summer, okay? But these bigger ones, as I've learned, still catch fish in the winter. in the winter previously, you hear about jigging spoons. You hear about the smaller spoons. And I've caught fish with them many, many years, okay? But I've never thrown this guy in the winter until recently. Part of that, of course, if you guys know me well, forward-facing sonar is the biggest part of it. It is nice to see this big thing and where I'm going to fish it. So guys, if you do not have forward-facing sonar, you can just learn from the segment of how we've learned about fish behavior with these big spoons. It draws them. It has a big drawing power. So guys, the two ways I have thrown this spoon recently, and I started doing it in that fall time, and then I've taken it to the winter. The first one is fishing it off of bluff walls. So guys, where you throw an Alabama rig or a jig, you can throw this too, okay? What this does is you can be looking at a bluff wall and throw it up there, and you might not see a fish. You start hopping that thing down it, they come out, okay? And I've caught a fish with it in trees too. At Lake Ouachita, on one of my recent videos on my new YouTube channel, The Fishing Coach, I'll put the videos in screen. I caught fish even in trees and 30 foot of water around the bases of them, okay? And guys, once again, if I didn't have forward-facing sonar, I'd just be throwing a jig still, okay? But I like to try new stuff out. This has just been fun for me, guys. That's all it is, okay? It's been fun, but what it does is it pulls the bass out. This right here is the shad pattern color. I like it in the cleaner water. Talked about it, guys, in one of my videos, and I'm going to give it a shot, and it's been working for me in that clean water. So, guys, my gear with it, okay, if you're curious on like rods and line, okay, the spoon guys typically will say 7.6 to 7.8. I like a 7.10 rod. I've been throwing on a 7.10. It's an extra heavy fast, okay? You can also, like, I mean, there's Zaldane's talked about throwing them even on big crankbait rods, like a moderate action or a heavy power, medium heavy to a moderate, okay? But he goes braid to fluoro with your line. I don't like braid to fluoro because there's 3 knots you're dealing with. You're dealing with your braid to your fluoro. I mean, there's a lot of knots for this big old thing, okay? So I like going just straight fluorocarbon, 20-pound test, okay? My retrieves, I bury the retrieves. When I'm fishing them rock walls, I am still hopping it. I can reel it too, but I'm hopping it, going up that wall. I'm watching it on my forward-facing sonar. And even one of my recent fishing trips, the video might be out by the time the video might be out by the time this one is on Declassified. I don't know, but I lost a giant fish at Ouachita with this thing right here. So guys, if you have any questions about it, man, send me a message down there below. I'll be free to help you. Right now in the fishing world, you hear about the Demiki rig, the jig head, swim bait, and all that, guys. Yeah, that's cool and catches fish, but this right here does too as well. Guys, once again, leave me a comment. If you have any questions, go check out my new YouTube channel, The Fishing Coach, to see more footage of me, provide a bunch of additional content. And guys, we appreciate you. Have a great holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll see you on the